Good morning. This is Renee's News, and I'm your host, Renee Campbell. Some of you say, well, why don't you use prophetess? Well, I don't know. Because the Lord may use me at another capacity, and then I'll be stuck at prophetess. Prophetess is one of the highest that you can get in the Lord spiritually. And I know we don't get much, but yeah. I need to tell the news. It's on my spirit. I don't want to go rambling on because we have some news today that's going to be very disturbing to a lot of us. And I can only tell you the way that that is coming to me. The puppies are dying from chemicals, okay? There's chemicals in the water. These chemicals are not from the president, but the president is aware. The CIA is not involved. Not like in trying to wound. This is a Baptist coalition fight, along with Governor Perry. Not to exclude those in the past, because I told you the Baptists been doing a lot of stuff with a lot of folks. But Michael Brown has been on my path, from my understanding, along with Governor Perry. Now, this is only in from what I hear because I thought Michael was supposed to be with Castro. But they said you didn't see the main squeeze. Governor Perry and Michael Brown are very close, intimately, sexually. They're very close. This war has to do with Mexicanos that Governor Perry are throwing out there. There's also a Baptist group that's supporting Michael Brown. The murder of, well, I don't want to go too far to too much because I don't want people getting in trouble, especially family members. But the water contamination's coming from Michael Brown. Going inside the records, tapping the phones. Michael has gotten my family tapped. So I wanted to also encourage my family. It's so hard for them to understand, when I was telling them in the beginning, sometimes people can be so critical and refuse to believe what is the truth. Why haven't anyone stopped them? Well, first of all, the government was aware of what Governor Perry was doing. And they just felt like, hey, because the government handles situations like this. This has been going on even in the past. The black lawsuit of the Greyhound bus and all that was them. They had me tapped. Now, from my understanding, there's an FBI agent who is involved. And a lot of times they have, workers' dedication, loyalty. You kind of, especially when dealing with the CIA and FBI. Someone told me that the CIA and the FBI really has the power to do what they want, and that's not right in America. But it's hard for them to attack him for what's wrong when they know they're also standing wrong. From my understanding, there are some who have a love or passion, especially when it comes to preachers. Preachers are not supposed to be touched in America. Now, this is something that I've understood. That's new. They're looked at separately as others. Now, I don't know if they're talking about just licensed preachers, but a lot of these people are just giving license, and I don't even want to go into that. But the CIA and FBI always do dirt, or does dirt. And so that's one of the reasons even though there may be some who want to combat what was going on, they couldn't. Also, government officials in high position, they're given this right to kill. One of the guys said when he sits, and he sits up high, I think they said it was a Supreme Court judge, they battled with him in the beginning because his thing was no, and I'm not going deep into details, but then after speaking with him, he drew his own conclusion, and he said, okay, this needs to be done. But one thing that they need to understand is that we see people as bugs. Sometimes there's contamination in our country, and so this is the way they get rid of them. The higher up you go, you're trained to be vicious dogs. That's what I heard. You're trained to be vicious dogs, and everyone below them they see as being, I guess, peasants, bugs, and every now and then you have to step on a couple of them, even if they're innocent. That's from my understanding. This is the mind of a CIA. This is the mind of an FBI. This is the mind of government up ahead. Now, I also heard that Obama's heart was different, but because he was aware of it. He was aware of it. That's what made it very critical. He did not do anything about it, and he was very aware of what was going on. they have cameras. Now, Michael Brown has been working as a mayor. In fact, from my understanding, they wanted to give him the mayor position if Governor Perry was to go into presidential. But then there's also some that says that Governor Perry was racist and was using him. But I've heard he also fell in love, according to, I don't know if it was Castro that they interviewed, but according to Castro, some say it was Castro that they interviewed, and they found that Governor Perry was also in a relationship. In fact, he was mostly the one in the relationship with Michael Brown. Sheila, and I keep saying Sheila as I talk, and I say, okay, Lord, what do you want me to say about Sheila? Because I keep jumping in, and I see Sheila, and that kind of like totally distract me. But Michael has an envious spirit. He's operating in an envious spirit. And these people are allowing him because they have church folks. From my understanding, it's not just Michael. There are other men. This is the men thing. There are other men who are allowed to go into government facility. So if you make a lot of money, if you're well known and you come into contact with your mayor or your governor, they have the orders or permission to choose folks to make whatever they want to make in society and give them that privilege. And Michael was one of the ones chosen to do what he's doing. So they're not being as hard. Now, you do have people trying to attack, but what they have to be careful is because there's Mexicano folks that's out there in the land, and there's also some Baptists, not many, but some Baptists that are also taking place. Now, I don't know whose children these were that went behind bars for them, but they threw them. The government did not throw them. They threw their own people back there. So parents, I'm aware that there are children being arrested. These men have solicited these boys to do the work that they're doing, and now they're throwing them. My understanding, it was Governor Perry who threw those people back into Mexico. There were people that was gathered up and thrown back in Mexico, and that was Governor Perry. Now, Castro is not innocent in a lot of this, but I did hear that Castro had began to fight because they were both beguiled. They were just running the government. This is the way they run the government. They get information. This is what we want you to do, and out of commitment, dedication, they do it. Is it right? No, but it's done. And so a lot of them didn't have hatred in their heart, but they are part of what happened. There are some judges also who committed their life to the scam they had up in housing. There was a scam that included a whole lot of folks, and that's the way money was passed. They had their own little group, they were getting paid, and a lot of them put their money over into a switch account. From my understanding, this is what happened to the ones like Michael Brown, and there were others. They didn't go out shopping like you would think they should. Their mentality was, let's put it aside, just in case. That's the way they do any lawsuit. When they embezzle, they don't spend the money right away. They'll hold it in the account just in case, someone inquire, oops, we accidentally done this, this is where it's at. And then at the same time, while this money is sitting, it's a recurring, occurring interest. And the interest is making it higher. So one of the voices that said, our money is being put up in the account so when I get older, at retirement age, I can be rich. So a lot of them have their monies overseas. Would they ever find it? So again, when this issue first began, it was big. Too many people are involved. And from my understanding, that's one of the reasons that Obama didn't say anything. Obama was with them, and he switched back. It started Baptist, it started black, it grouped off, Mexicanos are involved, and so this thing is pretty big. And so is the embezzlement. As I stated first, from my understanding, Obama pulled back. But what made him angry is when I began to fight back. But he did pull back, and he was already involved. But he saw something that they didn't see. And he saw a woman of God. And that's something that they were trying to exclude. Now, is Bishop, Claudette Copeland, Ray, Brown, are they all involved? Other actresses, stars, does it matter that they moved back? They started it all off. And who moved back because of fear of getting caught? Because it's something that should not have been. It's still a hazing, and they're still involved. Now that they have narrowed it down, they've cleaned off the land, a lot of folks are gone, yet we still have the main two out there, and they're still doing seductive things. They're still on our phones. They're still calling people, reversing whatever blessing because of envy. From my understanding, Perry is stepped back, but he stole a lot of stamps. He stole a lot of